I have to redo my Aduro financials video. So the other one I deleted, and so I'm going to do it again because I made a mistake. So Aduro reported financials, okay? And as you can see in the financials, we have the balance sheet, and we have as of May 31st, 2025, a cash balance of call it $7 million, 6.9, right? $7 million Canadian. And as you recall, in November 2024, they uplisted to NASDAQ and they raised some money. So a bunch of this money that you see here was from that. And not much liabilities and property, plant, and equipment continues to increase because they are building a pilot. They're investing in their asset. On the liability side, there's not much too much to the liabilities, and on the income statement, there's not much revenues, only 231,000, because most of the revenue is for testing. This Aduro is about commercializing its technology, and of course, there's lots of expenses for research and development, general and administrative, and so as a result, on the income statement, there's a loss here of $12 million, right? And so based on this, and what I didn't say in the prior video is that, only, and they lost 11, 12, so they must, they need to do under a capital raise soon. Well, not really, because if you go to the press releases, what happened in June, so Aduro announced closing of $8 million US, and then about a week later, they closed an over allotment. So in other words, they closed on $8 million US, and then the over allotment was 1.2 million. So in total, if you go to the press release, in total the company raised $9.2 million, okay? And the balance sheet, so remember this, $9.2 billion, 9.2 million. I don't even know what I'm doing today. And the balance sheet is in Canadian dollars, okay? So if we take 9.2 and do a conversion, that's about close to $13 million Canadian. So 13 million plus that 7 on the balance sheet, that would put the cash at about 20 million Canadian, and I'm sure they got some warrants. So the point is that they got enough money in the bank. They don't need to raise any money right now. They got enough money to finish the pilot, and that for next year to do the demonstration unit. And so what's important about this company is how they raise money, because when the company did these 2 private placements, people were like, well, why are they diluting us? Why are they raising the money when the finishing of the pilot is just around the corner? Well, if they didn't do that, this money would be getting low, because as of May, right, it was 7 million. Let's say by the time the pilot is finished, maybe this amount would have been 3 million, 2 million, something like that. And so even if you would have successful results from the pilot, and as always, things take forever, you wouldn't get the benefit of this because people would be expecting a raise. So then they would be playing games, right? Selling the stock because they know they expect the financing, and then we wouldn't get the benefit of the successful results from the pilot, assuming they're going to be successful, because people are playing games, right? So they raised the money when people didn't really expect it, and now when the pilot is going to be done, nobody's going to be expecting any capital raise soon. And if there is a next capital coming soon, we're not going to know about it. And that's how you want it. You don't want to know about it so that the market doesn't play games. Okay. So go back to the management discussion. So the part that we want to read are here. These updates on the customer engagement program. So the one that's the most interesting is the Shell Game Changer program. And if you go to the bottom, the Game Changer project is ongoing but approaches finalization. Planning and discussions with Shell Game Changer program are currently underway to determine project conclusion, followed by an expected formal graduation from the program. Big deal. They entered the program November 2022. So now we're approaching November 2025. So 3 years in the program. But I don't think anything is going to happen, any finalization is going to happen until the pilot is done, which is just around the corner, right? If we go to the press release, during the fourth quarter, Aduro advanced construction of the NGP pilot plant with Zitan. Okay, commissioning is scheduled to begin in September 2025. Starting with feed preparation and reactor systems, followed by the product recovery systems in October 2025. So right around the corner, right? The next one is Total Energies. The same thing. If we go to the bottom, the collaboration remains active under the framework of the multi-phase agreement, with the final phase expected to be completed by the end of 2025. Again, in my opinion, they got to see the results from the pilot, and then they're going to probably move. Okay? Let's go to the press release and read more of the press release. For Vicas, fiscal year 2025 marked a period of significant execution against our strategic priorities. Notably, we advanced construction of our pilot plant in collaboration with Zitan, with commissioning activities expected to begin in September 2025, which is what I read before. We also broadened our feedstock testing, including initial work on synthetic turf, which has drawn attention from several parties expressing interest in the results and reflects the growing attention to chemical recycling solution in this segment. In addition, we deepened our customer engagement program, strengthened relationships with leading companies across the plastic and energy value chain, and expanded our industry presence by joining collaborative associations. These initiatives position Aduro to demonstrate the scalability of hydrochemolytic technology and generate valuable data needed to assess its performance on diverse feedstock. Now we have a quote from this Mina Bichet, the CFO. We maintained financial discipline throughout the year while supporting significant investment in our pilot plant. The equity financing we scheduled in June was executed efficiently and provides meaningful additional resources to advance our scale-up program. Aduro remains in a healthy financial position, supported by a strong balance sheet and continued backing from partners. We look forward to building on this foundation as we enter fiscal year 2026. And here we have the highlights. You can read it on your own. Then we have some highlights and subsequent events. Again, on your own, read this section about the pilot plant. And this is the portion that I talked about before, the U.S. public offering, raising $9.2 million, which means that they have enough money for quite a long time. And then they also added some management and executive positions. So there you have it. Big deal. I cannot wait for the pilot plant to be done and for the results to come out, and hopefully for some of these big players to make their decisions on what they want to do with Aduro and the plastic recycling technology.